What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some very hype news that's arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise Japan. So news o'clock came around and we were expecting the banner for the Sugofest to go live. It didn't. However, about an hour and a half later, maybe 2 hours later, boom, it dropped as a delayed news post on the actual Treasure Cruise game, which was crazy. Here is the banner right here. Obviously, we've got Luffy and Law as the banner legend, as well as the new dual unit Big Mom with Zeus and Prometheus. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what the banner stated in terms of the actual Sugofest structure, and also it did give us a little bit of insight as to what the new units do, which is the most exciting part, figuring out what these characters do. Now, they didn't actually reveal anything relating to the new characters. Like, we didn't really know what any of the other characters do, but we do have a base outline of what Luffy and Law and Big Mom are going to be doing, and that's what we're going to be revealing in this video. So here is the banner right here. 2.5 times legend rate automatically is the first thing I saw here, which is quite fair considering that they actually have a buffed rate compared to global. They got a buffed update after New Year's, I think it was, after the Katakuri Sugofest. They actually buffed the legend rate, so I think normally on their Sugofest it's like a 4% chance to get a legend, and now at 2.5 times, that's obviously some crazy amount of chances to get legends. So on average, it should be nearly like a legend per multi on average. So that's absolutely crazy. So big shout out to all the people over on the One Piece Treasure Cruise subreddit who have gone ahead and translated what the Sugofest structure is going to be like. Obviously, it's anniversary Sugofest. It's going to be an all gold Sugofest. We knew that going into it, but let's go ahead and have a look. Yeah, all gold, obviously. Shout out to Cyber Jacket for going ahead and translating this. 2.5 times legend rate, of course. And it says in the second part, a new 5th anniversary Ace will be available. Anniversary Shanks and Reiju will also be available. So that's awesome that they're bringing those characters back. So that Ace likely will be a trusty character in the next treasure map, which is going to be Shanks and Ben Beckman. So that obviously makes a lot of sense. And then in the third part, a new 5th anniversary Perona will be available. And then the Sanji and Hancock will be available from the previous anniversaries. That also makes a lot of sense. Hopefully that's actually guaranteed, but we're going to go ahead and have a look here. So on the first part of the Sugofest, on part number 1, the first multi is a discounted multi at 30 rainbow gems, which is cool. The multi 2, 4, 6, and 8 is a guaranteed legend. So multi number 1's discount. Then the second multi is a guaranteed legend straight off the bat. Normally what we've seen on global on very big Sugos like this, the second multi is a legend, but it's like a limited pool legend of like terrible legends that no one ever really wants. And then the new characters are like really low rated on that specific multi. But here it's just a guaranteed legend, which is awesome. The third multi, obviously it's another guaranteed legend. However, on the third multi, it says specifically a double character is guaranteed. Any dual unit that's a legend is guaranteed on that multi. So that means Luffy and Ace, Whitebeard and Marco, Sanji and Judge, and then the new ones, which is going to be Luffy and Law, and Big Mom and Zeus and Prometheus. So really cool that one of those are guaranteed on the third freaking multi. And then moving on from that, we have on 6, 12, and 14 steps, legend with max special level. And then on multi 10, once again, it's a legend double unit, or basically the same step as step 3, where the legend that you get is either Luffy and Ace, Whitebeard Marco, Sanji Judge, Luffy Law, or Zeus Prometheus and Big Mom. So that's awesome. And then on step 16 and 18, it's a rated up legend guaranteed. And then on the 20th multi, crazy that, you know, up to 20 multis, double character with max special level. That's pretty cool, honestly. I'm a pretty big fan of the way that they've structured this Sugo. So there's a red, guaranteed red on 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Basically, nearly every second multi is a guaranteed red. So that's wild. That is absolutely wild that is the case. So if you are starting off the Japan version of the game, this is honestly the best Sugofest ever. Like, this is the best Sugofest you could possibly roll on. Then moving on to part 2, Luffy and Law are boosted specifically for part 2, and then obviously Big Mom and Prometheus and Zeus are going to be boosted on part number 3. So for part 2, obviously same as 30 gems for the first multi, and it says the second multi you get guaranteed 5th anniversary Ace. That's awesome. We don't know what the Ace or the Perona do yet, but we can go ahead and assume that they are going to be relatively useful, but that's all we really know at this stage. So the new Ace is going to be guaranteed on the second multi. So that's the difference between part 1 and part 2, is that you get a guaranteed legend instead. So depending on your situation, but I think the Ace will be very useful to get. And then it also says 3, 4, and 8 is another legend. On multi 5 this time is a guaranteed double character. And then on multi 6 is a rated up legend. And then you have multi 10 with a legend with max special. And then multi 12, double legend with max special. So in terms of getting specific legends, I do think that multis 2 and parts 2 and 3, they look way better just comparing it to part 1. Obviously, there's more steps on part 1, and both of the legends are boosted on part 1, but the fact that on multi 5 you get a double character, and then multi 6, like compared to multi, what was it, 16, you get a guaranteed rated up legend on multi 6 of the second part. That is crazy good, because we can already assume at this point that the characters that are rated up are going to be very good. I don't think they're going to be rating up too many of the old legends. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but either way. The third part is the exact same as the second part, except you get the Perona on the second step, and that Big Mom is going to be boosted instead of Luffy and Law. Makes a lot of sense. And then it says the rated up legends. This unfortunately is not fully maxed out yet. This hasn't been filled out yet, but we can see on part 1, V2 Big Mom, Luffy, Law, V2 Zoro, Bato Cavendish, Carrot, Brook, Sanji V2, V2 Katakuri, Tesoro, V2 Akainu, V2 Doflamingo, and V2 Fujitora. All of those, aside from maybe 2, maybe 3 of them, are like amazing top tier legends that are worth getting a hold of, and they're all going to be rate boosted. And remember, there's so many different steps here to get reds on so many of these steps, and you have a 2.5 times legend rate as well on top of their already boosted legend rate. The amount of reds that people are going to be pulling is going to be absurd. So once again, if you want to be starting a Japan account, this is the time to start. They have some amazing characters rated up here, 100%. This is going to be definitely a Sugofest worth pulling on. Alright, so I'm on my Discord right now, and I have fully translated the abilities for the Big Mom and the Luffy and Law character. Their abilities were actually listed on the Sugofest banner when you actually scroll through the information, which is cool. So now we have a full in-depth analysis of what they basically do. Now, we don't know what their swapping effect is, and we don't know what their solo captain effects are. That's the only thing we don't know, and obviously their limit break abilities and sailor abilities, but we know their fused captain effect, and we know their special abilities, so we can definitely get a lot of information from this. First of all, let's go through the most hype character, which is going to be Luffy and Law. So as we saw from the website already, Luffy is a dex unit and Law was a quick unit. Now, the fused captain effect of these characters states boosts all characters' attack, universal attack boost of 4.5, and also gives you a 1.25 times health boost automatically. Like, what the heck? Dude, like that's wild. That is so wild. I mean, we've had some characters that have been close to universal that have been on that same level of multiplier. Like we saw, like the original Gear 4 Luffy and even Snake Man, right? They are universal boosters. They are not as good as that. That is wild. That captain effect, 4.5 times attack. If you guys have ever used Quick Whitebeard and you've used him at 1 health and you see the amount of damage he can get, yeah, that's what you're getting, but you can be at any health and you've got 4.5 times attack. Obviously, this is the fused version. They're not going to be 4.5 all the time, but just putting it out there, that is a wild multiplier. I am really interested to see what their solo captain effects are. Hopefully, we get the data download soon, because that's what I want to know. 4.5 times universal boost, 1.25 times universal health, and recovers 1 times his recovery at the end of the turn for every perfect you hit. So this one is very similar to the Law that we already have, V2 Law, where every time you hit a perfect, you heal based off of his recovery stat. Exact same thing here, except that it's 1 times his recovery. So this is definitely a character that you'd be wanting to feed recovery candies to. Well, just looking at it right now, I would assume that one of the solo captains, mainly Law, is going to have the ability where he basically will heal based off of his recovery stat. I do think that will be the case here, so that's awesome to see, because, you know, it's always nice to have characters to feed recovery cotton candy to, because, you know, you get to a point where you just have so much recovery candy, you don't know what to feed it to, and now this is definitely a character I would opt to give recovery candies to, just because he is a healing-based sort of captain. But when you look at it, he doesn't actually do much, and it's not really a unique captain effect whatsoever. It's just, you get lots of attack, and you heal. a bunch. That's it. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could have been a little bit more creative. Maybe we'll see some creativeness with their swap effect. But let's get to their special ability, because this is actually quite unique. This is the first dual character that is arriving on One Piece Treasure Cruise that has a different special depending on which character is out. I was really excited because of this, and it actually got me thinking. Before this even was released, I was even thinking about making a concept where a dual unit had different specials depending on who was out. I was literally thinking of this the other day, and I'm really happy to see that this is actually coming into the game. So depending on who is out, either Luffy or Law, you get differing effects. It's basically the same special, but the damage that you deal is a little bit different. So in terms of Luffy, when Luffy is the character that's out and you use the special ability, he's going to go ahead and deal 400 times his attack to one enemy, and that's typeless damage as well. And also, Dex and Quick Orbs are going to be counted as matching for your entire crew, and for one turn, boost the orbs by 2.5 times. And then as well as getting the 3 turns of transformation. A 2.5 times universal orb boost, and universally give Dex and Quick matching to all characters. Now that's only for one turn. It's only a 1 turn orb boost, 1 turn orb beneficial enable, so you can't really use the beneficial orb enable to your advantage where you can carry it through multiple rooms to avoid certain debuffs. That would have been awesome. I think personally I would have loved the Dex and Quick orbs to be matching for 3 turns and then the orb boost only be for 1 turn. That would have been amazing. But, you know, I can't really complain. This character is amazing. 400 times his attack to one enemy. That is insane as well. That's going to be doing some crazy amounts of damage. Like, if I pull up the calculator real quick, let's hypothetically say they have 2,000 attack, and you times that by 400. That's nearly 1,000,000 damage, and I'm sure they're going to have slightly over 2,000 attack, and especially if you had sailor abilities and other sort of effects, this character will do absurd amounts of damage, and that's awesome to see. Now, switching things up, if Law is the character that's out while you use the special ability, you do get a slightly different effect. This time, instead of 400 times his attack to one enemy, he does 75 times his attack to all enemies, and it bypasses barriers. I'm a big fan of that special ability. And remember, depending on who is out, you will change the color of Luffy and Law. So if Luffy is out and you use the special ability, the dual unit will be Dex, and then, you know, obviously switching it around, the dual unit will be Quick when Law uses the special. And other than the damage, he does the exact same thing. Dex and Quick will still be matching for all characters, and you still get your 2.5 times orb boost, and you do get the fusion for 3 turns. So that is the full rundown of the Luffy and Law character, basically. And as I said, we don't know their switching effect, and we don't know their solo captain effects, so that will definitely change the tide for this character, because most of the time when you use this character, they are only going to be in their solo states, and you are going to be switching quite often. So it really comes down to what those do will determine how often people will use this guy. But I mean, judging from his dual captain effect, I think this character is going to be very, very good. And now we move on to the last character we're going to be talking about, which is Zeus and Prometheus, plural, and also Big Mom. So this is a really interesting character because both the dual units, or both sides of the dual units, are the same color. So you would think that they would have to be quite creative in the way that they create the unit, and they definitely have done something very interesting here. So the dual captain effect, the fused captain of this character, states that when you have all types present on your crew, increase damage taken by 1.75. That is not good to see. However, you get 2 times health and 4 times attack. Like, what the hell? 2 times health and 4 times attack universal if you have all colors. This makes a lot of sense now because being double int, it would be really annoying if you had, if you had all types present, but then every time you switch, you change color, so you might not get all the right colors on your team. So this makes a lot of sense as to why they're structured like this. Though, I don't know why it had to be a dual unit for this captain effect to be the way it is. I don't know. I feel like this as a regular captain effect would have been fine, because you got to think, right? This is the dual captain effect. You have to use the special, and you only get this captain effect for 3 turns. So I'm not really too sure as to what the base captain effects are even going to be like for this particular character. I really hope that it is strong though, because when you compare the 2 captain effects of this and this, easily you would choose Luffy and Law over Big Mom. So there definitely has to be something with their switching effect or with their solo captain effects that are going to make this character a little bit more unique. And now we're going to be talking about their special, right? Because their special is actually way different from anything that we've seen before. Actually, it was actually funny. Someone in Justin's Discord actually let me know about this. I won't go there right now. But there is one other character that does something similar to what Big Mom did previously, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So Big Mom has a new sort of boost that we haven't seen in the game before, aside from one other state that we'll talk about later. She will go ahead and boost the base attack of all characters based on the value of HP remaining. This is something really weird, right? So the base attack. So if a character like Luffy and Law, let's say, has 2000 attack, this will boost that base value of attack by up to 1000 additional attack, depending on how much health you have when you activate the special. So the max you can get, if you have 100,000 HP when you activate the special, every character on your crew gets 1000 additional attack added to their base value. Very, very weird sort of special, because when you add base attack to a character, this will affect many different things. If a character does damage, like a multiplier based by their attack value, that will increase because of this. If they give you tap timing additional bonus damage, that will also increase because of this. There's very interesting things that will occur because of this, and I'm really excited to see where this can go. And obviously, if a character has that much more additional attack, they're going to be dealing way more damage. Like, that's really exciting to see. And it's going to be weird to see how people are going to abuse this, because I do think that this is going to be a very powerful character. But Big Mom doesn't finish here. She also has an added effect that states that when you activate the special, when you're above 50% health, she gives you a 3.5 times chain lock as well. Like, holy crap. That's crazy, dude. I think the Big Mom will be like one of the best subs in the game, to be honest. Obviously, you really wouldn't want to be using her on characters, crews that have low health values. You'd want to be using her on teams that have like large pools of health. I can't really think of any that come to mind straight away, but I mean, obviously her on her own team is going to be great, but any crew that has a lot of health value, just a lot of health in their pool, this character is going to be great for. Again, we don't really know the classes of each of these characters yet. We only know their colors, so the classes that they have could definitely sway into like what kind of teams they're going to be great for, especially for Luffy and Law. That's going to be interesting to see their classes. Are they going to be free spirit fighters? Is it going to be free spirit slasher? Is it going to be fighter slasher? We don't really know their classes at this point. And same with Zeus and Prometheus. I think driven powerhouse, driven slasher. I don't know. There's lots of different classes that these characters could be. But that is the full rundown of all the information that we have right now in terms of the Big Mom and the Luffy and Law. So hopefully we get the data download soon with all of the new batch, because I definitely want to be talking about them and see how good they go together and what other teams they can be good for. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.